It's me with my dear friend Amanda, who's definitely taller than me.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. She's got to like literally scrunch down to get in the shot with me, right?
Good.
Oh, well, you guys have heard a lot about the story of Brave at this point. And we wanted to share next about season 4. And I've shared with you already about the Lord just giving a pillar to stand beside and hold up this ministry and the vision and help accomplish the things we needed to accomplish. And this is the season 4 pillar right here, Amanda Blankenship. So Amanda, I just want you to know I'm super thankful just to have you beside me through season 4, and we're heading into season 5, which is crazy. But so much has happened in season 4.
Oh my goodness.
So much. So why don't you start with just telling us how you found Brave?
Okay. So I found Brave through an online marketing ad that Eric had created for a Brave conference. The first one, I think, was 2016.
I think so.
16.
Yeah.
And I had been to town for a couple of things before, and I think it just generated because I had been to that venue or something, who knows, the algorithm, whatever happened, but
wow,
I saw it and so I was like, I know that place. It's I was like, oh, I know that place. And it was for women and worship and songwriting. And so I was like, I definitely want to go. So grabbed a girlfriend, Deb, and we made the trip and drove down from Ohio. And I thought I was going to learn about songwriting, which I did. But I thought I was just going to learn some skills and work on my craft. And man, like the Lord just met me there. And it was so much more about heart than anything really. And Lord just did such a work in my own life. I remember sitting there thinking like, why are we dealing with this right now, God? Because I'm supposed to be learning about songwriting right now. And so I had found a group of people who really cared about the individual songwriter and not just songwriting. I didn't even know I was looking for that. But I have found so much more than that in this group. And that's really how it started.
It's crazy. Wow. And I'm sure you'll share more about your story, but you're here now.
Yes. Yeah, I live here now.
You live here now. That's kind of a big deal.
That's season 4.
Yeah. Yes, that's the end. So now you know the end. Well, let's talk about the in-between. Let's talk about our leadership team.
Yeah.
How that grew and changed and shifted.
I think so. After that, I started Brave Besties. We had that little group during that season.
Yes.
Because Rachel and I were talking the other night. That's how we actually met.
Really?
Brave Besties.
And she found us online as well.
Yeah. And so I think it was from that Brave Besties that you told us about the Scotland trip. So we had that trip.
Yes.
And obviously we can talk more about that. But it was after the Scotland trip. I had been working for a church for a long time doing communication stuff and worship leading and different stuff like that. And so I instinctively wanted to create graphics and stuff from our trip.
Yeah.
And post stuff and just was excited about it and excited about using my skills towards something I was just falling in love with, really, this community. And so we talked, and you wanted to just develop more of a team, a leadership team. And I think it was the January then of 2018.
Yes, because I just looked back today and we didn't have any notes from any meetings until you. We had no notes anywhere. I mean, I'm sure we did somehow. We did. But they're all in a Google
They are
Drive.
Still all there.
Yeah.
And so that was our first meeting, and we had gathered how many? Probably 7 or 8 in that first.
I think so. Leadership
team.
Came up with our categories.
Yeah, our categories, what we wanted to do. We took the analysis for our spiritual giftings, the fivefold ministry. was that season? Yeah. And we started meeting and trying to develop more what Brave was going to be about and do, and developing teams who could help support Krissy in what she was already doing.
Yeah, so we came up with outings and outreach, which we just saw today. One of the outings that was listed was in the spring, let's do goat yoga. I'm pretty sure that was Dina. And we had our prayer.
We never did that.
We never did that. We had our prayer and prep team.
Yes.
We had a missions team. And I think that was kind of the basics of what we started with, right?
Yeah.
Communications.
There was prayer.
Yeah. Prayer and prep. Those all went
prayer,
together. Yeah.
For some reason.
Randomly.
Put together.
Yeah. Randomly we put those together.
I think when I look back at some of the team names and stuff, because I'm really people driven when it comes to like leadership.
Yeah.
And so I think of the individuals before I think of their role. So it's funny to me now looking back, like prayer and prep, how did that go together? But it was the people who were over it.
Yeah.
So like, I guess that's just a little bit about how I organize.
Yes. So through the course of the last 4 years, what has happened to our leadership structure?
Oh my goodness, it's changed.
Is it crazy?
So much. I feel like every year, like, we meet and kind of evaluate, that year and the vision for the next year. It always, like, it's propelled us forward and like shifting, roles, like knowing, like as a team, we've grown to know each other's strengths and passions and be able to move us towards those things and out of roles that maybe weren't our passions or our number one skill type thing. So it's continued to kind of, I feel like it's just been like tweaking it.
Yes.
Every time.
Yes. So the crazy thing was during this season, a lot of new things started happening. Yeah. So I think the mentorship was part of that. Actually, I'm trying to remember if that was season 3 or season 4, the mentorship. I think it was actually season 4 because it was when we came home from Scotland. And people wanted to learn more about writing songs. So I would write a week and then teach a week and then come here. And you were one of those that came from out of state.
Yeah,
for that.
Tried to come in to as many in person as possible and drove in for it. Yeah.
And we had Rachel fly in.
Yeah, she did
from
too.
Texas, and Natalie was coming in from Colorado. Yeah. And
it's kind of amazing. You think about
it is like, crazy
that need was so great.
Yeah,
that we were willing to like drive and fly to be part of knowing this was going to be something so helpful, not just us like personally, but we knew Krissy was inviting us to be part of something that was going to change things like culturally for songwriters, and it was exciting.
Yeah, it was really fun. It was such a, I don't know, you could just feel the excitement and the momentum growing through that season. So that launched, and then suddenly we realized we need more resources.
Yeah.
So there were several resources birthed during this season. In fact, I'd say all of our resources.
Yeah, all of them.
That we have, and it's now called Writing Worship. It's all kind of under, that's another one. So the book came out during this season. The mentorship, like we mentioned, the live course, we actually taught that in a couple churches before COVID. Yeah. And it's we've got other courses. We started partnering with other people that we saw had great strengths, and we pulled them in. Then you started another resource not too long ago. The membership.
The membership, yeah, that's brand new, really, in the end of this season, kind of started in October of last year. And we've just seen kind of trying to meet the needs as we've kind of run into them, really.
Yeah.
And developing as we go. So it was kind of birthed out of the fact that mentorship was so amazing. People didn't want to stop that community feeling and writing together that they had built. So, Eric built such an incredible system and for us to be able to do this membership program. And he's like, championed it the whole way. And I get to be in there to mentor that group and facilitate that group. And just one of my favorite things is to join people in their journey and watching them grow and the community that's developed from it. So that's like a brand new resource.
Yes. So they
all the season.
They all came through this season.
Yeah.
And then we've had mentors. So we have how many now? Six
mentors
able to mentor small groups every time that we open up the mentorship, which is
about 3 times a year.
Yeah,
we do that.
So that's resources. Let's talk about other events and things that we did during this season.
Which one?
We get to pick.
We
did an Ireland trip.
That was big.
That was huge. And it was we brought the course there and taught the course to some Irish worship leaders, and we got to write with them. Yeah. And now that's going to be a part of our next season. Just crazy.
That trip too was kind of seeing the scope of where writing worship could go. I feel too, that it wasn't just for us, that it would apply. It was applicable out even into a different culture. It was still applicable and useful for them, and because it's so much about the heart and awakening your own sound and what the Lord has put in you. That that was just an amazing, like even leading worship that Sunday morning. That after teaching with them and writing with them and them sharing their songs that they had wrote with their congregation.
Yes, seeing their hearts come to life.
It was so special. It's so like it's burned, I think, in my memory.
Yes. We all had. I think it was just one of those like unforgettable moments, a marker moment for all of us. I think personally, but also as a community, like knowing, this is what we're called to do.
It was because a lot of times you don't get to see the results of something that you sow into, and this was like just one of those moments of a weekend where you saw the full circle come about, and so it was really special.
It was amazing. So that was our missions trip that we did during this season. We did a ton of writing days. We have another one coming up next week.
We have one coming up.
We've done a lot of those writing days. It's been really fun. We've done a lot of vision planning. We've done coffees. So those started to grow.
Yes, they grew too. Like meeting for coffee was just part of like our community. Like it's just a natural thing to get together and drink coffee and talk. But we saw the potential, especially with our online community, who was really needing more community time. Like, how do we do this? Brainstorming about that, or bravestorming as we call it. It's our word for it. About that. And, it was a way that we could do through Zoom. And this was, honestly, it's just amazing to see how God prepared us for, what 2020 ended up being, because we had already started doing a lot of stuff online, and especially that was through coffees. And Dina started leading that and having coffees, and then we had other groups say, well, we would like to do those too. And so she was managing other people who were leading groups like in Colorado and Texarkana and Ohio and California, and just like they were just starting to spread.
Right before COVID.
Because they were meeting in person, those groups were, and we still had groups here meeting in person. But we were prepared for online and prepared to do what we needed to. So obviously when COVID hit, we just shifted everything back to an online format, and we continue to do that.
Writers' nights, we did online too.
Yeah, we've done those online. Writers' rounds. Nights.
Writers' rounds.
Online.
Worship lives.
Prayer
nights. We've done Bria did all that.
I think it was important that we didn't just like say, oh, we can't do anything during this season.
We're like we can do this.
If anything, I think it grew the community, because we were reaching out. We were reaching further than we would have locally in our own spaces. And so I think we've actually seen a lot of growth from how much we have dove into our online platforms, and just reaching out and saying, hey, because we found like a lot of people don't have community where they're at. They might feel alone as songwriters where they are, or even in worship leading where they are, feel alone, and this gives them a safe place to come and gather, be encouraged. And so it continues to be something that's productive and something we see continuing forward into the next season.
Right. Yeah. Other things that we did, well, a really important thing that we did was we became affiliated with a nonprofit. So we came underneath the umbrella of Generosity Rocks. So it gives us the opportunity now to, to be able to raise funds, and for those funds, whoever donates those funds to be able to deduct that off their taxes, which is awesome.
Right.
So that's been a huge new thing.
It has. It'll enable us to do even more in the next season.
Mm-hmm.
And like one of those needs too is like mission trip stuff, and realizing people who were feeling called to be part of that or wanting to be part of that, then being able to raise funds for that in a way that was more common to what people are used to doing too, and having a nonprofit to give that to.
Yeah. Another thing that was a highlight this year was, and this is crazy, we planned a whole event, a Nashville revival tour with Ray Hughes. We were supposed to do in September. We had also planned to possibly be at the Ryman doing a worship night. That was kind of like our ultimate dream.
It's like at the end of that.
Yeah, the end of the tour. And of course, everything got canceled. But suddenly we were invited last minute to go sing at the Pure River event, which was at the Ryman, which was the same week as what we had planned our tour, and it was incredible. That was unreal. So location wise, the places we've been at the Ryman, we were in Ireland. We did use the Centricity Music Building. They were generous in offering us their space. Whole Foods, thank you for your community room. We really appreciate that. Hope UC has allowed us to use their space in this last season. And then also Lisa in her silo. We've been really thankful for all of you who let Brave use your space at one time or another. And there are more to come, I'm sure. I was laughing with Eric on the podcast how you guys were texting me but not trying to say about the Grammy party that you're planning. And like, I don't know if I said it to you or Dina, but I said, "Are you serious? You're looking for a venue again?" Just so funny.
Around at things. We're like,
just
exploring possibilities.
Saying but not saying. But one of my very favorite things about this season, well, let me save that. We'll save that for the next thing. Let's just talk about our reach.
Okay.
What do you think our reach is if we add up? Because now our resources are all under writing worship.
Yeah.
And there's actually girls and guys on that whole side of things.
Right. Yeah.
There's a lot of guys on our Brave Worship Insta and all that too. So if we're including all of them, plus our Brave communities, plus our podcast community, plus our email, newsletter.
Yeah, it's gotta be like, we've grown so much. And I think it's, like I said, from that last year, but probably like 10,000, over 10,000.
I think so.
Like, which feels crazy to say out loud, doesn't it?
I know it does. Yeah. Because last season we were probably 500 at the.
Oh my goodness.
So if you think about it just feels like a catapult,
Yeah, it really.
And really, the Lord has been directing us every step, and so it hasn't felt sudden to us. I don't think.
No,
we've kind of done steps, right?
Yeah, we've done steps. We've evaluated. We've just done the thing that's right in front of us. Like, what's that next thing we're supposed to do? It's definitely had moments where, like with anything, where you have times where you're really like climbing, and then other times where you're kind of at a plateau and you're just resting. But we've had a lot less rest in this season.
It's been running, climbing season. Yes.
Yeah, it's been like short breaks to like just reevaluate and then keep going. But I think it's good because I feel like we're nearing a plateau of sorts.
Yes.
For a while. Like you can kind of sense it.
Yeah,
it's coming. We're still climbing.
Yeah.
Getting there, but
we're getting close.
Yeah, you feel it.
So, as far as where people are located that we're reaching,
Oh,
where are they all located now? I mean,
all
it's
over.
yeah.
I mean, it really is all over, but our concentration in the United States, in Canada, also the UK, is probably our greatest concentration. Um, Especially from our trips and things over into the UK. And we have some European too that are part of what we're doing. But yeah, it's a whole lot different than just that localized. I mean, goodness, thinking about where it started, just
I know.
with 8 people.
It's crazy.
And it's even hard. It's hard now to even calculate who all it's reaching, right, entirely. But it is exciting, and it's a responsibility we take very seriously too. Something we want to steward well, and I think that's why we continue to push toward resource, and even lately we're doing a lot of Q&As and things, just wanting people to know they're supported and cared for, and that we're about relationship above anything. So that's what we'll keep doing.
Yes.
Keep doing the thing right in front of us, and
yes,
who knows what all season 5 will hold.
Yes, who knows? Well, there's more to come, and we will share about that. But the one thing which I wanted to share for last, which is my favorite thing, did cause a lot of our coffees to fold in other areas. I will say. Because, do you want to tell everyone why?
Because most of our Brave coffee leaders in their locations throughout the United States all decided to move here.
So we have, I think, 8 families now, right? Yeah. That in the last few months have moved here.
Yes.
And are ready to go. And have brought literally their entire family.
Oh yeah. It's all packed up and left. And the crazy thing about it is we didn't talk about it. Like, it wasn't like we had a meeting and was like, we should all move together.
It was one at a time.
We didn't know each other. We're even thinking about it. It just happened. Like, it was just the Lord, obviously, like, speaking to each of us and our families. Some of us had been talking about it for a long time. Others of us, like myself and my family, me and Bob, like, literally just started talking about it in July and last year. And it was like, I've traveled here a lot and been part of it a lot, but just never thought that we would move. And it was, we were on vacation, and I was like, I feel like maybe we're supposed to be there. And he shocked me and said, I do too. And I was like, you do?
What? You're not supposed to say that. It's supposed to be a fight.
I was thinking, like, this is just me sharing my heart right now. Gosh. He's completely surprised me by saying, like, maybe we should. And then we talked to the kids, and they were like, yeah. And Noah's like first response was, I feel like it's time for that kind of change. I was like,
it's crazy.
I guess we're doing this kind of thing. So, but that's my story.
Yeah.
It's just repeated over and over with these families that have come.
We have dubbed it the Brave Migration.
Yes, the Brave Migration.
We've had a family just moved from Oregon last week.
Yeah.
We've had several from Ohio. We had one from DC area, one from New York.
Yeah. And there's more that are working towards it. Like, they've got it in their sights. So we're not really even sure why the Lord is gathering us all entirely, but we do feel like it's for season 5.
We think it's season 5. And we have some really exciting things to share with you about season 5. But the first thing I want to tell you guys about that is launching us into season 5 is really just giving us a moment to honor the past, like Bob was saying this morning. Honor the past and champion the future. And that's what we want to do through this album. So for the very first time in its 10 years, Brave is going to be celebrating together through releasing an album. Well, we're going to be releasing singles one at a time, but we're doing 4 songs that will collect into an EP. And we want to share that with you. We'd love for you to come join us. We'd love for you to pray for us. We'd love for you to consider giving towards that EP. And we have lots of different options, but it's going to help launch us into the next season. And really what it represents for us, let's talk about that. What does that CD or that album represent? What does that mean to us?
Yeah, I mean, for me, when I think about it, it represents all these seasons. Like, I feel like it's a collection of who we are and what we've been part of. Songs from trips or writing days, or things that we've sung out at our worship nights, and like have, just found a closeness with the Lord through these lyrics or songs. And I just feel like it's almost a mile marker. I feel like we're putting down, in some way.
Well, and I think it's also, taking that vision that we just finished writing out, which is relationships, and then resources, and then records. And we get to see the full journey now of what happens when we have writers come in and we love on them. We give them room at the table. We say, hey, we've got room for your voice. And we actually are creating opportunity. That's the heart of what we're doing. Creating opportunity, just reinstating people's purpose and visions and callings. And then we gave them resources next, and we gave them the opportunity to grow.
Right. Yeah.
And then I felt like the Lord was telling me not too long ago, if you love them, give them what they need resource wise, teach them, train them, mentor them, watch what kind of songs are going to come out. Yeah. And those are songs that impact the world.
They are. Like the band just had one of their first rehearsals, and we were just all really impacted just being there for the rehearsal and listening. Like, a lot of us didn't even want to sing. We were listening to each other, and there was such a spirit that is because of that relationship. Like, Emily and Rachel and I were talking about at the end of the night, like, almost all the people in the room could lead rehearsal. They're all worship leaders, they're all leaders, and yet there was this coming together for the good of all of us, like a togetherness, that there wasn't competition. There was it was such a sweet spirit, and it felt so worshipful, even though we were like, going through songs and saying, what are we going to do here, what are we going to do there. It really, to me, just feels like the heart of who we are. And I think it's I'm excited for us to be able to share that community with everybody else too, like
the expression of that.
Yes, an expression of that, and them to get to experience, even in a small way, even in a song, like what we've seen all these years coming together.
Yeah, I'm excited to let you hear the sound of seeds having been planted for 10 years. Really, it's the sound of 10 years worth of seeds. So I'm super excited to get to share that. And I hope that this story has helped you understand better where we've come from, and those 4 seasons and what they each held. And we also are going to give you a little sneak preview of season 5, because we do know what's coming. Even though it scares me sometimes. We do know what's coming.
We see
it. And really, just making sure we're preserving worship on the face of the earth. Oh, and next, let's talk about that.
Oh, yeah. That was a podcast that we did last year called Discovering Next. So if you want to look it up, you'll find out on our podcast page, Discovering Next. But it was a dream or a vision that you had. Do you want to share a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I had a dream, and in the dream, I was walking through a wooded area and some fields, and I saw a stream, but I was marking trees, and I was moving berries and fruit plants near the trail. I was planting flowers, I was clearing space for just rest. And I knew as I was doing it that it wasn't for myself. I was doing that for the generation coming behind me. And of course, it'd be easier to walk that journey alone, just rush through it, right?
Right.
That'd be a much easier way for the person walking the path to go. In that case, it was me. But I felt like the Lord was saying, you're not just here to walk this path. You're here to get this path ready for the next ones coming behind you. And I think that's a big part of what we want to do in the future. So we don't see our vision as even something that will, be for our lifetimes. We see, like Ray says, we see this come for coming generations also. So yes, this is our time to clear the path.
It was just we were able to sit and talk through that and realizing so much about I think what we had asked ourselves was, were we willing? Were we willing to do that? Were we willing? And I think what was amazing in preparing for this next season was we realized like that's where we are, and we are ready. Like as a community group, we're ready to help with this next generation, to help mother and father, and that's come through all that relationship time and growing time and all of that. But it's really exciting, but it's also there's a selflessness with it. It's scary too.
Yes,
because it's a lot of unknown. But it just feels right. So it feels like
it's undeniable. The next steps, right?
It's what we're supposed to give ourselves to and towards. And I can't wait to, I can't wait to hear about like season 10. Do you know what I mean? Like I can't wait to hear season 10. I just, that's cool. Just knowing what that path is going to do for so many others, and I think it will. And there's things coming up that hopefully will propel that forward even more.
Yes. So we are here to help clear the path, and one of the ways we're doing that is by following that pattern all the way to the end, which is releasing these songs. And then we have so much more ahead. So I'm excited. I know you're excited, Amanda. You are always like full of wonder. That is my favorite thing about you, about what's coming next and what God is doing. And I think next season will be no different. So let's do this.
Yeah, we are. We're going to.
Thank you so much for all you've poured in, and for the heart that you carry into everything that you do, mentoring, the structure side of things, the Google Docs, all of the things you do. Just carry that wonder and excitement and just desire to see people awaken in their dreams. So
I am. Well, and I'm just thankful to get to do it with a friend. Like it's so special, this group of people, and it's become like family for even my family too.
Yeah,
like it's family. And so I even say to you guys though too, like we invite you into this journey. Like what do you want to see like worship look like and songwriting in the future? Those things that you've struggled with. I came from my background of kind of unhealthy environment to finding this beautiful, healthy community. And once you've seen that, like, that's where you want to belong. That's what you also want to help create. That's what you want to help propel forward in the earth. And it's building his kingdom in a very specific way through songwriters. So just challenge you, even where you're at, whatever is on your heart to do, to just go for it, step after step. And you might be someone like me who sees like out there and you get excited about it. Don't let the enormity of that dream stop you from starting. Just take one step forward.
What's your quote you say? One man step. It's kind of like the Mars one or the moon one.
Oh, it's but God-sized dreams, man-sized steps.
That's it. Yeah. So that's for you guys too. Okay. Let's see that. Oh, and you're taller than me, so there's that.
Let's record.
I'll try to get tall. Whoa!
We should start it like this.
Okay.
And then I'll come back down.
You ready?
Welcome.
Wait, stop. Oh no, cancel. Oh, it's recording. It's already recording.
We're already there. Hello.
Hey guys.